There's a very specific kind of pounding on a front door that tells you two things immediately. First, whatever dream you were having is dead on arrival, and second, somebody with a badge, a clipboard, or a god complex is standing on your porch ready to ruin your morning. And when it happened to me, I was standing in my living room in taco print boxer briefs, holding a bowl of Captain Crunch, which is not how any man wants to greet law enforcement at 8:15 on a Saturday. The sun hadn't fully committed to the day yet. You know, that gray gold light that makes suburbia look almost peaceful, like the chemically enhanced lawns and beige siding are part of some wholesome commercial. And then bam, 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 my front door rattles like a SWAT team just synced their watches. "Coming, hold your horses," I yelled, sloshing milk onto the hardwood, kicking a sock under the couch like that was somehow going to preserve my dignity. I swung the door open ready to chew out a solicitor, and instead I'm staring at two cops. One older, tired eyes, pension countdown energy. The other young, built like he benches refrigerators, hand hovering near his belt, while I stand there in taco underwear, trying to look like a responsible member of society. "Mr. Mark Henderson?" the older one asks. "Depends," I say, leaning on the frame like that's helping anything. "Did I win a raffle, or is this about a parking ticket from 2018? The young one doesn't smile. He flips open a notepad. "We received a 911 call. A peeping Tom incident." I blink. "Is my house on fire? Did I miss a gas leak?" The older cop sighs. "A neighbor reports a male subject in this living room using high-powered binoculars to stare into her bedroom window for 45 minutes, making eye contact, leering." Leering. I look down at my taco boxers. I look back at them. "You guys are joking, right?" They are not joking. The complainant, apparently, was Mrs. Brenda Higgins, my next-door neighbor and self-appointed guardian of property lines. The woman who once called the city because my recycling bin was 3 inches too far left. The woman who irons jeans. The woman who probably alphabetizes her spice rack for fun. "Officers," I said, rubbing my temples. "Brenda lives 70 feet away, across a drainage ditch and a row of crepe myrtles. I can barely see her house. And respectfully looking at Brenda is not how I want to spend my Saturday." "She was specific about the binoculars," the young one says. "Okay," I reply. "You want to see the binoculars?" They tense up like I just offered to produce a flamethrower. I step aside. "Come in. Keep your boots on. You have to see this." There, in the middle of my messy bachelor living room, lies the alleged surveillance device, my Oculus VR headset. "I was playing Beat Saber," I say. "You know, lightsabers, techno music, slashing neon blocks. That's why I was crouching, dodging virtual walls." The younger cop picks it up, squints through it, then looks toward Brenda's house. "Sarge, you can't even see her place from this angle." "Exactly." I throw my hands up. I was fighting for my life against a remix of Gangnam Style, not spying on the Wicked Witch next door. The older cop removes his hat, rubs his forehead. "So let me get this straight. You were dancing around in your underwear, blindfolded by a computer helmet, swinging at invisible blocks." "Yes," I say. "It's cardio." The younger one cracks a smile. Apparently this was Brenda's third call that week. Tuesday she reported the mailman as a government drone. They leave with a warning to maybe close my blinds while doing my cardio. I watch them walk toward Brenda's beige mausoleum of joy. Her door cracks open before they even knock. Of course she's been watching. That should have been the end of it. Yeah, that happened. I step out back later that morning to clear my head, and there she is, Brenda in a floral bathrobe straight out of 1986, pink curlers like aggressive grenades, holding garden shears for dramatic effect. "You," she screeches from her elevated patio like she's delivering a Shakespearean curse. "Did they arrest you?" "No, Brenda," I shout back. "Playing video games in my living room is still legal." "I felt your gaze," she says, trembling. "Heavy. Dirty." "Brenda," I reply slowly. I literally could not see reality. "That's how VR works." She stamps her slipper. "I have grandchildren. I won't have a predator monitoring my property. I'm calling the HOA. The mayor. My nephew in sanitation. You're weaponizing garbage men now." I laugh, but it's hollow. Then she says the line that changes everything. "I don't want to see your ugly face every time I look out my window." And something in me snaps. "You shouldn't have to," I say, voice dropping calm and dangerous. "And I definitely don't want to see you." "I'll fix it." She narrows her eyes. "Are you threatening me?" "I'm promising you." Let me back up a sec. What happened next wasn't weeks of escalation. It was days. A suburban Cold War. Monday, she installs cameras, not cute doorbell ones, industrial-looking monsters pointed straight at my kitchen. Tuesday, she starts blasting opera at 6 a.m., full Wagner through a blown-out speaker aimed at my bedroom. Wednesday, I call the cops. Noise ordinance technically allows it. Cameras are legal. It's a civil matter, they tell me. The HOA caps fences at 4 feet. Chain link or picket only. Maintain the communal aesthetic. Brenda thinks she's won. Critical mistake. She assumed I was normal. She didn't realize I'm a freelance graphic designer with insomnia, a high credit limit, and a deep appreciation for malicious compliance. I dive into city zoning codes like it's my new religion. And buried in a dusty subsection from 1974, I find it, a loophole so beautiful it makes angels sing. Residential fences, 4 feet max. But freestanding artistic installations or windbreak structures adjacent to nuisance drainage lots may extend up to 10 feet. Guess whose property is flagged as a drainage nuisance because of that ditch? Brenda's. I smile slow. I call Tony. Tony answers like he gargles gravel for breakfast. I have a neighbor accusing me of being a peeping Tom while blasting opera at my house, I say. I have a zoning loophole and a desire for revenge. Long pause. I'm listening, Tony says. I need a 10-foot wall. Legally, it's art. He chuckles dark and delighted. Kid, for a neighbor like that, we can go reinforced. Tony shows up in a war survivor Ford F-350, shaped like a vending machine in boots. He surveys Brenda's house like a general studying enemy territory. She got run off, he asks. Yup, I lie slightly. Structural necessity, he grins. Concrete posts, every 4 feet. Marine-grade plywood. Cedar facing on my side. Raw plywood on hers. We file permits. His cousin at zoning hates HOAs. Rubber stamp by lunch. Construction begins immediately. Brenda comes running when the lumber truck arrives. You can't do this. Tony towers over her. Ma'am, step back. Hard hat area. She calls the police. Again. Permit checks out. It's a windbreak, the officer tells her. There is no wind, she shrieks. Preparing for hurricane season, Tony deadpants. In Ohio. She turns the hose on our concrete pour. Tony shields it with plywood. Keep it coming. Cures faster. By Friday, 10-foot posts loom like wooden sentinels. Her petunias fall into shadow. By Saturday, the wall is complete, a glorious cedar monolith erasing Brenda from my horizon. I stand on my patio. I can't see her windows. I can't see her cameras. I can't see her. I crack a beer. Tony claps my shoulder. She's done, boss. But I'm not finished. Because remember, it's not just a windbreak. It's art. I call Snake. Local muralist. Graffiti genius. I have a canvas, I tell him. 10 feet tall. 40 feet wide. I want a giant, hyper-realistic bloodshot eye staring directly at her house. Snake pauses. I can make it look wet, he says. Make it look wet. Sunday morning, scaffolding goes up on my side of the property line, legally 6 inches in. Brenda watches, pale. By afternoon, it's done. 8-foot wide electric blue iris. Vein scara. Black pupil reflecting a tiny distorted image of her house inside. It looks like Sauron moved in. She steps onto her patio, looks up and screams. Not a normal scream. The kind of scream that says a psyche just cracked. It's demonic, she cries. It's art, I shout. Close your blinds. Emergency HOA meeting Tuesday. Basement packed. Brenda holds up a photo like evidence at a war crimes trial. He built a spike fence. I slide the permit across the table. It's a windbreak and artistic installation under City Code 14B. Title: The Neighbor's Burden. The HOA president, a man Brenda once measured with a ruler, tries not to smile. Paperwork is in order, he says. She sputters. They request I soften the gaze. I pretend to consider. Fine. For the community. Next day Snake returns. What are we doing? He asks. Compliance, I say. Give it eyelashes. He laughs so hard he nearly falls. Long, dramatic lashes appear on the giant bloodshot eye. It's worse. So much worse. It looks like a drag queen mid-existential crisis. Brenda installs blackout curtains on every window facing my house. She plants cypress trees in desperation. She never blasts opera again. A month later I sit on my patio at sunset. The cedar wall glows gold. Silence. Peace. No cameras. No curlers. No Wagner. I put on my VR headset. Load Beat Saber. Hardest song. They say good fences make good neighbors. I say to the empty air, slicing neon blocks. But a 10-foot artistic windbreak with a giant eyelashed eyeball? That makes for a quiet life. And I dance like nobody's watching. Because thanks to the wall, nobody is. Now here's the thing, was I petty? Absolutely. Did I escalate? Without question. But I followed every rule she tried to weaponize against me. I didn't hide. I didn't move. I just built something taller. So I've got to ask you, when someone pushes and hides behind bureaucracy, is malicious compliance justice or just another form of madness? Would you have built the wall? Or would you have moved? Drop your thoughts below. Tell me if I went too far or not far enough. And if you've ever had a neighbor war like this, I want to hear it. Because around here, the line between right and wrong sometimes looks a lot like a 10-foot cedar wall with eyelashes.